dude, he almost drowned us.
What'd you get? Here we go, no intro to this video, getting right into it, getting after it on El Matatan. Solid day for a test run. Morning had decent winds, we're getting out there trying to find some fish. First run on this boat, so you never know what's gonna happen. This was one of those last minute trips, so any fish we get is an added bonus. Back in the water, got the flasher down, getting the chum going. As you could see, it started out pretty calm, so we're trying to hit the blue water spots before it got windy. There's barracudas everywhere, so I just throw my spoon, try to see if one will get close enough for a shot. That way I can secure chum for the remainder of the day. There's a few cudas around, so I just want to level off, pick one out, and patiently wait for the perfect shot. That first shot is important to set the tone for the rest of the day spearfishing. Lining him up, trying to stone him. Not a stone, but I know he's not going anywhere, so I horse him up. I always like to take a barracuda early. You never know when you might see something again for chum, but also just to get the action in the water, get the movement going. Something bigger might show up. Watch out for those teeth, get your hands in his gills, and now chum is secured. A couple rainbow runners were passing by, keeping their distance. That's Garai diving on him, not getting a perfect shot, and it's always tough to track him with those bigger guns. It's not worth unloading on it unless you know you're going to hit them, and if they're on the move like that, it's tough. We did a quick reset just to start to drift over again and immediately start seeing rainbows. I do my drop, try to keep those fish in my peripheral vision, not spook them, level off, and wait for one to present a shot. Something about rainbow runners makes them super fun to hunt and so satisfying when you finally hit them. There was a bunch of them, but I couldn't tell which was the biggest, so I just go for the guaranteed hit. I hit this thing way low. It was actually a bad shot, but I'm just trying to play it super light so I can secure this. At this point, that slip tip's fighting for its life trying to stay in that rainbow, but it seems to be doing a good job. Thankfully, I got Bubba there to check out the shot. He confirms it's okay, and we continue with this little fight. Rainbow runners have super soft meat, soft skin, so they're notorious for tearing off. I just let him run whenever he goes on a hard pull and gain ground whenever I can because he's getting tired. Once I secure him by the tail, I see there's some sharks around, so I just dispatch him by hand so I don't even have to take out my knife. I still make sure to bleed the fish just to preserve the eating qualities, especially a rainbow runner. Get all that blood out, then it'll be nice for sashimi and poke bowls. I love the color on these guys. I'd honestly shoot them all day if they were around. The sharks were really feeling comfortable on this day, coming up close to the flasher, close to the surface, and that homemade flasher I have was super tangled up. Some small rainbows were still hanging out around the sharks, but they can be tough to get when the shark's always in the way. At this point, I'm focused on getting my gun loaded again, so I can poke away these sharks. Here I do a bit of a splashing sound. Sometimes the strategy can keep them back and keep them deep. On this mini drop, this nice shark comes in closer for a look. At this point, I kept seeing one rainbow runner staying deep, really close to the shark, and I figured I'd just go for it. I start dive bombing him and going for a lower probability shot. Line up, long shot, bad angle, and it's a miss. At this point, Bubba got another nice rainbow. Add that to the box. Big school of horse-eyed jacks coming up to the surface, checking out our flasher. Not much we can do with those. I just continued chumming the waters, and as I was doing that, I saw a shark come in. At the same time as that shark came through, there was another fish next to it. At first I thought it was a cuda because of the shape, but once he got a little closer I could tell it was no cuda. It was a decent sized king mackerel, giving me a perfect shot. A little bit long, so I aimed for the head, end up hitting the tail, and at this point I knew I hit him but was a little nervous about that shot placement.
Yo, second shot!
Even though it wasn't a big fish, it was worth getting a second shot in him because who knows if anything else good is going to come today. There's Gurai investigating the shot, and once he realizes it's a holding shot, he decides to just pull it up directly and keep his gun loaded, which is a smart move. I was excited to get this king. I'd only gotten a couple from shore dives before, and this was my first blue water king mackerel. This was a perfect eating size king mackerel, super juicy for ceviche and sashimi. As always, brain, bleed, gut, swipe to preserve the eating qualities. As I'm bleeding him, his heart actually slips out, so just drop that in with the chum. Especially since I'm going to be eating this fish raw, I want to get those guts out of him right away. I show Caleb on the boat and he was pretty excited. The sharks end up getting close to the surface again. That flasher's all tangled up, only like 8 feet down. This guy needed to get a little poke. As you can see, they're getting pretty fired up, moving around quickly. We decide to move on to the next spot. Little secret weapon, the golden potion, Medaya. We get to a reef spot and I go for that trigger fish, absolutely miss, and then see a nice amberjack on my way up. I told Gurai there's a big AJ down there, so he drops a piece of barracuda tail. I see him charging the fish, so I go down to record. The visibility wasn't great, so I couldn't tell what was happening at first, but now I know there's a huge problem. He got muzzle wrap, and it was no stone shot, so we're fighting the full weight of a 30-pound amberjack at full power. We're kicking as hard as we can, but the fish is still dragging us back down towards the reef. It's really tough fighting a fish of this size with no reel, no breakaway, just pure fight. We're exhausted and need to act fast before this dangerous situation gets any worse. Amberjacks are known for their power, and this was a big one. That shot near the dorsal fin did nearly no damage to the fish. The AJ I got on that shore dive, I was at least able to maneuver it by the head, but this one's even bigger and has its full energy. As you can see, while I'm trying to pull the line up, the fish is still dragging me underwater, so it's hard to get full breaths.
Can you hold it?
It's time to go for the second shot, but I'm so exhausted. I can barely hold my breath, so I just try to take the first shot I'm presented. Somehow a tragic miss, and I know we have to keep fighting. Super dangerous mess, and we just try to get everything into the boat so we can fight it from there. Once I saw this fish at the surface, in my buddy's hands, the size of it fully registered.
Here, let me get a knife in him.
It's always easier to do the knifing for your buddy on a big fish like this.
Dude, he almost drowned us.
Extremely critical to brain and bleed a big, brute, bloody fish like an amberjack. It's always intense when you go after a big predator like this, and you have to have a lot of respect for a fish with this much strength.
What is it? It's like 30.
This amberjack came in at over 30 pounds, like 30, 32 pounds.
Yeah. No.
Hey, now you got fish for you.
We got some variety to eat, so it's time to head in. La Policia is super active at this spot. They gave us a couple of tickets. I made sure to get new flares and fire extinguishers, so I'm ready for next time.